Hello and welcome to Make It So HQ, and I haven't spoke to anybody for ages, so I thought I would jump on today and do a little video about the Sewezi portable desk, sewing machine desk that is. I have been looking at buying one of these since I went to the Knitting and Stitching show in Harrogate in 2023. And I very nearly bought it that day. However, the reason that I didn't was because I had already spent £150, I think, on the walking foot for my sewing machine, which wasn't on the list of things that I was buying. So that's why I didn't, that's partly why I didn't buy it. And then I have toyed with buying one ever since then and keep talking myself in and out of it. We went to Harrogate Knit and Stitch show again, and this year we went to the stand, had another look this year at the stand at it, and yet again was really tempted. I've ended up buying the portable one, but they do a grand one as well, and I was looking at both of those at the Knitting and Stitching show in November this year, 2024, and I very nearly talked myself into buying it then. The reason I didn't then was because the weather turned and we ended up, instead of, we were there for 2 days, we went day one, and then unfortunately on day two, which was meant to be the buying day, we were like going round and checking it all out on day one, sleeping on what things we wanted to buy, and then going to go back for a big shopping day on day two. Well, anyway, the weather changed and we couldn't go on day two because we had to get back to get the boat home. Otherwise, we would have been stuck in Harrogate for about 3 days, as it turned out. So that's why I didn't buy it then. So anyway, it's been playing on my mind. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to buy it, or something like it, was because being 5'2", and that's probably a bit generous actually, but being 5'2" and sewing at just a regular dining room table, which I think most of us sew at, I end up sewing like this. So you're meant to sew with your arms at like a 90-degree angles like this. Basically that's desk height. So once you add your sewing machine into the mix, you're now suddenly sewing at this height. And I've ended up with a really like sore back and shoulders. And because my job is making memory bears and memory quilts, and for pleasure making quilts and things like that, I can spend a lot of time at a sewing machine, and I was starting to feel like if this is my long-term job, I need to do something about this, otherwise I'm going to be in pain and possibly have to cut it short. So that was the main reason for looking for something. I was either looking for something that was going to be height adjustable, but ultimately it needs to be so that my arms are in the right position, or I'm in the right sewing position, to avoid being in pain. So if anybody can relate to that, then keep watching whilst I show you the Sewezi table. Now, what I love about this is it's on wheels, which is amazing. I'm not quite sure how to do this. Hopefully you can hear me from there. So it's on wheels, so it's quite portable. And as you can see, it's not too wide, and it comes up to like waist height on me. So it's quite a good size. So if you ever go into sewing retreats or workshops, and more than likely when you go to them, you're going to be at a regular size table. So if you do find that you have issues, there's nothing stopping you taking your own table with you. So what I liked about this particular one was the size, the fact it comes with its own carrier bag thing, which is amazing. It's got a handle here, so it's got a built-in handle, and as you can see, I'm lifting that with one hand. So it's got a handle on that side, but it's also got a handle on the short side. So you've got the option of doing either. So when I was sliding it into the car, now my car, I've got a Vauxhall Viva, so the boot is really quite small. So with my sewing machine in the boot, the table wasn't going to go in the boot, so it went in the back seat. So I picked it, I kind of scooted it along like this till I got to the car, stopped it next to the car, and then was able to go like this, slide it in the back of the car, and then when it was lying flat on the seats in the car, when I got to the other end, I was able to then pull it out the car from this handle, and then get my hand on the other handle to get it out the car. And then you just can rest it, and as you can see, it stands on its own as well, so you don't need to lean it up against anything. And then it's got wheels on the bottom, and then you just roll it to wherever you're going to go. So I really liked that. Now, I've not even got it out of the bag yet. The other thing that's really good about it is that it's got 2 pockets. So this has just got, but the packaging was amazing. It came packed in this bag, with this bag over the top. So the table was in this, and then this was over the top of this bag, which was amazing. I even got a free measuring tape, and we all love a freebie. So that all fits back in there. It's also got a little, I don't know if you can see that plasticky bit there. So you could actually put your name and your contact details in there in case it went missing. But then the really clever bit is on the back or the front, depending on what way you're looking at it. So this has got the branding on the front, but this is actually a pocket. And in here, this is where you keep the insert for your sewing machine. So let me talk to you about that before I get it out of the bag. So I'm not going to talk about prices, and the reason I'm not going to talk about prices is that if you're watching this in 10 years time, then the prices are not going to be the same as the prices that they are today. The second thing I'm going to say at this point is that I am in no way affiliated to this company. I forgot to say that at the beginning, but I just really like it and want to share with everybody. I would definitely recommend it. So I just wanted to put that out there. So I'm not going to mention the prices, but what you do get at the minute with the table, you get 1 insert for a sewing machine. Now on the website at the minute, it says something along the lines of there's like 4,000 different sewing machine models you can get an insert for, which is fantastic. I've got a Bernina Q570 or B570. So it's quite a big machine and it's quite a heavy machine, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But I've also got a really tiny Elna sewing machine, and you can actually buy an insert for that as well. So at the minute I've just bought the one for the Bernina, but I'm very tempted to buy the insert for the Elna because it's a lot lighter. So if I was going to a sewing workshop, there's a good chance I might actually take the Elna with me instead of the Bernina. Can you see that? So anyway, back to this. So in this pocket, you store your glass insert, well, plastic insert. Now you probably can sort of see that. It comes with the branding on it, and I'm presuming that this number down here is the number that relates to my sewing machine. So basically when you order it, you can only order them via the website. You go on the website, you decide what you want, and then there's a box and you write in what sewing machine you've got, and then they produce this to go with that. So that's what you get at the minute with the portable table. I bought as an addition, because I thought it was quite useful, just a standard clear plastic insert. So it means the table can actually double up as a light box. You just need to put a light in between, and then put your paper or whatever you're working on over the top, and then it acts as a light box. So I ended up going for that as an option as well. The other thing that you can do as well is you can buy all these separately. You don't need to buy them all as one purchase. You can then build up over time if you want to. And which is probably a better way of doing it, but I was a bit impulsive. But then I think I wasn't impulsive because I have been thinking about it since November 2023, so that's not impulsive. And then I bought the table insert. So this is wooden and it's white, and that basically goes in the table so that you can just use it as a table. So that I thought that was quite a good option as well. So that's why I decided I was going to buy that as well. Now, what I really like about the pocket on the front is the way it's been stitched. It goes in a bit down here. Don't know if you can see that. Right, hang on. So here it's stitched in. So that means that the table has to go in with the small bit at the bottom. And so it can only fit one way. And it also means if you've not bought this, when you put these in, they will only go as far as the indentation will allow. So it means that they always stay near the top of this flap. So I just thought I would show you those things. So they are all really good features. There's been a lot of thought has gone into this, and it's probably like, compared to the prototype, I imagine that there's been quite a few adaptations made over the years with just people using it and recommending, oh, this would be a really good add-on, etc. So I think it's probably evolved over time. Right, I also bought an extra. This is like a reinforcing pole. So my sewing machine is really quite heavy. I can lift this more comfortably than I can lift my sewing machine. Especially when the sewing machine bag has got all my added extra bits in it, like my sewing kit and things. So that is really quite heavy. So you don't need this bar for my sewing machine, but if you go much higher than the weight of my sewing machine, and I don't know what the weight of it is, but it is on the website, the maximum weight that the table can take without needing this. But it wasn't very expensive, and I just felt like I would be happier with this as an add-on. So I bought that as an add-on, and there's no real place for it to go within this. I've just stuck it in and hooked it over the bit of the handle. So that's that as well. So let's actually open up the table and put it up. So it's got a zip on the side here and a bit of Velcro down the bottom, and the bottom of it's elasticated, so the actual bag doesn't go right down and under, otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to the feet. So I don't know if you can see the feet. So the feet are here, so if the bag went right down to the bottom, then the feet would be pointless. So we're just going to take it out of the bag. And then you just unhook it, because there's a bit of elastic keeping it round. And then we'll take it out of the bag. Ta-da! Right, so this is the back and this is the front. Okay, so each table comes with the right inserts to make this. This is the bit that your sewing machine sits on. It comes with little spacers, and it explains to you based on your sewing machine how many of those little spacers you need to put in for the sewing machine to be at the right height with the insert over the top. So it's really clever how it kind of work for all models. So for example, if I was to switch out and put my Elna in, it's going to be a lot shallower, so I would need to take some of the spacers out of the bottom for it to sit at the right level, but it would tell me that when I actually get the new insert through the post. And that's the other thing, they deliver. So at the minute, and again in 10 years time I don't know the answer to this question, at the minute this table, the portable Sewezi table is the name, I think, is delivered free of charge to the Isle of Man. And for anybody that lives in the Isle of Man, you'll realise that that's actually quite amazing. So at the minute, these are free to deliver to the Isle of Man. If you live in the UK, I imagine that they're free anyway. So let's just put it on its side. Now the other thing before I do that to point out is these nice little purple plastic corners are actually removable. That's just from a transporting point of view to stop it from getting bashed on the corners. So I really like that touch. It's a really good idea. And when you're not using them, if you've got them off, they actually would fit in the little pouch that I had the white bag in. These would fit in there. And I've also kept in there the Allen key that came with it, and also the additional spacers, so that if I get a different insert, I know the pair they all are. So that's a really good add-on. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to open it up and lay the table out. So I'm going to switch the camera off and rearrange because I'm not sure how easy that's going to be to do from there. So I'm just going to stop and start again, and hopefully it won't be dead obvious when you watch this back. But anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back. Hope you didn't miss me too much. Okay, so this is the table. Hopefully I'm not going to be on my floor for too long because it's going to kill my knees. But basically we're just going to set the table up now. So I'm going to turn it on its side using the handle. And then I'm going to turn it over on the back. So you would do this on the floor, but you can't really see it on the floor. So I would normally put that flat on the floor. And then you literally just open the legs and pop out the little safety brackets so that they don't fold back down on themselves. Ta-da! And that's it. So if I just put that back up, and then that's the table ready to go. And you might have a better from there. These are the feet. So when it's on its side like that, that's the bit that you basically roll around the floor. Now you can also see from here, these purple bits here are the spacers that I was talking about. So all of this section here unscrews, and you add spacers based on the depth of your sewing machine, which makes the area from here to here work for the size of your sewing machine. So I'm going to put the reinforced bar in, which is literally, it just clips on. So that goes in there like that, that goes in there like that, job done. So that's the table. You can take these bits off now, and now we're going to add the sewing machine. Now you can't see me anymore, so hang on a minute. Okay, so I'm going to get the sewing machine out of the bag, and we're going to put it in the table. So as I said, the sewing machine actually weighs more than the table. You have to excuse the mess because I haven't even looked in the sewing machine bag, and there's a lot of stuff in here. So I'll just move all this out of the way. I'll get some hold music on the go, or I'll sing to you if you like. Right, so I should have done this before, but never mind. Right, so here's my sewing machine. And that goes in there like that. And then we get the insert. And then you literally just slide that in. And I've now got my sewing machine table ready to go. So I obviously need to plug my foot in. That's the plug. But with this type of machine, we've actually got a knee lever. One of these. And with this type of machine, you still can use that. It can still fit in and it still works underneath the table. So that's a really good selling point if you use the knee lever. At the minute, I don't use the knee lever because I've got a chair that's on wheels and I'm not particularly big. When I go like this with my knee, I move instead of the sewing machine foot. So I need to work on that technique. But anyway, so that is the table. The really interesting thing was, if I just move, I don't know how, so let's just move this a bit closer. Right, so I'm going to get my chair. So the thing that I actually thought was really good, as an added extra with this table, was the additional like space. You've got sewing table effectively, because you're now sewing directly at table height. All of this bit of the table is now, all my sewing work is flat on it, if you know what I mean. Like an old-fashioned one when the machine was in the table and you flipped the lid up and turned it out, and then you've got this, the sewing table is all flat. So when it comes to quilting, it's going to be amazing because it's all going to be on the same level instead of the weight of it kind of falling off. So I just want to talk to you about, very quickly before I go, I'm just going to move myself around. See, this is the other thing, how movable is it? It's amazing. I want to show you what I mean about table height. So I've got, this seat is too low. Hang on. If you wobble, that's because I've loosened it. Right, as you can see, if I sit here, I'm not at a 90-degree angle. My hands are too high up on this height. So I can, because this is movable, an adjustable chair, I can get this to the right height. So that stops my back from getting sore. Whereas before, my sewing machine was at tabletop height. So I'll take the sewing machine out and put it on the table to show you what I mean. So I end up sitting sewing this height. Now my chair can go up a little bit higher, but the higher up my chair goes, my feet start to dangle. So that's not great either. You're meant to have your feet on the floor as well as your arms at 90-degree angles. So for anybody that's quite short, then that can be a challenge to get both of those right. But equally, if you're really tall, you've got the same issue but the opposite way around. So that's like the main reason why I wanted this, so that I would be at the right height. But the added advantage is that because this is now all of my flat sewing table, it makes sewing, you've got a lot more control over the sewing that you're doing. So that is my review on the Sewezi Portable table. I think it's fantastic. I will very quickly dismantle it all and put it back in the bag for you so that you can see what that is, how easy that is to do. They actually do, so these, as I say, these come off. So that's quite good, and I can see that they've already got marks on them, so they're doing the job that they're intended for. They do extension tables as well, so they do a table that's pretty much exact same size as this, without the option to put your sewing machine in it, that you could have and do like an L-shaped number, or put behind, so if you were doing a bigger quilt, so that would be an option. This is actually the same height as my dining room table, there or thereabouts. So my plan, I think, would be, if I'm doing something big, is just to angle this with my other table here rather than buying a portable and another one of these. But we'll see. We're not going to rush into any decisions, she says. They also do overlocker tables. They do cutting tables. I've not gone down that road at the minute, but I thought I would just sit and wait and just use this and see what else I would add to it, because you can get like a accessory drawer thing that swings out, so that could be quite a good addition. And I'm also going to make, because we love to make, otherwise we wouldn't have sewing machines, I feel like these need to be utilised, these carry handles, when it's up as a desk. That could be a great little place to just brush all your threads into and catch them in a bag or something. So I've got that in the back of my mind, or somewhere to hang something off it somehow. The wheels are quite good. I don't know if you can see that, but the wheel, you could hang something over the wheel for maybe like a scrap bag or something, I don't know, or for your scissors. So there's lots of potential going on, so my little brain is working overtime. But I'm going to just very quickly take it back down and put it back in the box, in the bag, and let you see how easy that is to do, and then I'll wrap it up. So I hope that you're still with me. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I'm going to put a link to the website in the comments for you to go and check them out. The staff are amazing. So you basically fill in a form on the website, and then somebody will get in touch with you. They have agents, I suppose is the right word, in various different locations. So I would imagine it's the one that's based in your jurisdiction that gets back to you. The person I spoke to was really helpful. It was Claire that I spoke to, but again, in 10 years' time, Claire might not be there. I don't know. But at the minute, Claire is who I spoke to. She was fantastic. I nearly gave her a heart attack because when my order arrived, I emailed her and said that the insert wasn't in it. And the spacers weren't in it either. So I think she had a massive panic. But I didn't appreciate that they were as small as they were. So I just seen this. It came so well packed, by the way. But this was actually with the one for the sewing machine were together, and they were wrapped in like cling film. And I didn't expect them to be this size. I thought they would actually, I don't know why, but I thought they were going to be more this size. So I opened this and was expecting another one this size. So I panicked and went, oh, I've not got everything that I need. And I had it all the time. So Claire nearly had a little heart attack, but thankfully we averted that crisis. And I did have everything. So as I say, everything was really beautifully packed. I was delighted. It came really quickly as well. And the instructions were really good on how to put it all together, because to start with, you've got to work out how to assemble this bit. So that bit doesn't come already assembled. You have to do that bit yourself. So once you've done that, you're pretty much ready to sew. So I'm going to take this apart, not apart, but I'm going to just take the sewing machine out, collapse it down, and I will leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. So just watch this space. Let's see. If I time myself, right? Hang on, let's time ourselves and see how long. I'm going to time myself and see how long it takes. Let's go. Right, so. Okay, first thing to do is take the insert off first, which I didn't do. I've not put my sewing machine in the bag because that's not part of the timing process, but you should put it back in the bag if you're going, if you're finishing at a workshop. So I'm just going to take the bar out. Dun, dun, dun. And then this is where the handles are really good for putting it down on its side, because you've got this handle here. So it makes it easy to just fold it up. So I'm just turning it upside down and then fold the legs in. Right. And then we'll bring it back up on its side. And then on the tall edge like this. And then put the bag back on. And you can only put it on one way because the handles need to be in the handle slots. And it just the elastic kind of hooks round the bottom of the table, it says. There we go. Right, so I just need to zip it up. And then Velcro. Right, and now all I need to do is put my inserts in here. And the good thing with it is that I actually can fit all 3 of these inserts in here all the time. So I don't need to worry about where they are. I'm not sure you'd get a 4th in, but you can certainly get the 3 that I currently have in. Right, so that's the 3 inserts in, job done. And that has taken me 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So that is really fast. And then literally you just go and wheel it away, put it in your car, job done. Or it just goes in the cupboard under the stairs if it's in the house. So I bought it because this shed is freezing in the winter. So I thought, well, I bought it for the reasons that I said earlier. I needed something that I was going to be at this height. But also the shed's freezing in the winter. So it meant that I could use that in the house and it doesn't take up an awful lot of room. And my plan is that when I'm down here, I can use it down here as well. I might consider getting a grand and leaving it permanently up in here, but watch this space, I haven't quite decided yet. That might be at the Knit and Stitch show this year, because guess what? I'm going again this year. And Festival of Quilts, but don't tell anybody. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm sorry it was so long. Well, I'm not sorry it was so long, actually. It needed to be the length of time that it was for you to fully understand how great it is. So in my opinion, you should definitely check out the So Easy website and get yourself one of these tables. I do not think you would regret it. But thank you so much for watching. And I'm thinking I might do a review video on my sewing machine at some point as well, because that's another thing that I really like. But anyway, that's for another day. But follow me on YouTube if you want to stay informed in what other things that I am going to be doing on my channel. But definitely, it's so easy. See you later. Have a great day.